Okay, good morning. Welcome to everyone. Certainly welcome to Senator Lindsey Graham, Congressman Joe Cunningham, and special welcome to the new commander of the South Atlantic Division, Colonel Jason Kelly, and the Lieutenant Colonel Rachel Hondard, who is the commander of the Charleston District. We had a brief meeting today to brief on the Charleston Post 45 Deepening project, which is an integral part of the infrastructure plan of the South Carolina Ports Authority, vital to the growth of the port. As you all know, that we have, as the port and the state, invested over $2 billion in a 6-year time frame to modernize this port, to make it ready to handle multiple big ships and to handle the growth that we anticipate in the Southeast port market. So Post 45 is an integral part of that. We've had a great cooperative relationship with the Army Corps of Engineers to bring it to this point today. It's fully funded, thanks to the support of our federal delegation and certainly the state of South Carolina, who put $300 million aside at the outset to really differentiate the project. So we're in a good situation today as far as realizing that project. And it's a real success story because we will have done a deep draft navigation project in slightly over 10 years' time. And that doesn't sound like fast to most people, but let me tell you, in the navigation deepening business, it's very fast. So it's an exciting story, something we're very, very proud of. And I'm just happy to have a chance to meet Colonel Kelly and to have a chance to really review this with some of our federal delegation here. So Senator Graham, if you'd like to say a few words, please.
Very much. Thank you. Welcome, Colonel Kelly.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to get this done, aren't we, Colonel Kelly?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a good man. Where are you at, Rachel? We've had a great list of lieutenant colonels come through this office, and you have been at the top. You've done a terrific job, and she'll get promoted, won't she? Good. So we're putting the colonel on the spot. He served 2 tours in Afghanistan, 2 tours in Iraq. The Army Corps of Engineers is combat capable. They do all of our domestic infrastructure in terms of ports and roads and bridges when there's a federal connection, but they also are war fighters. Have you been over?
Yes, sir.
All right, so every person coming through here in uniform not only helps us, but they'll go into harm's way. And I've been to Iraq and Afghanistan 57 times. And it was easier to go over there than it was to get to 52 feet. So, at least over in Iraq, they give you a gun and you know in Afghanistan who the enemy is. Jim, you and Barbara and the entire board infrastructure over a long period of time have had a laser-like focus on making Charleston relevant in the new economy coming from shipping. We will soon be, 2022, Joe, I hope, 2022, we will have this port at 52 feet. Will be the deepest port on the East Coast. It will be transformational for the port in the state of South Carolina. They tell me 1 in 10 jobs in South Carolina are connected to the port. I say 1 in 5. Prove me wrong. So we've got an inland port up in Greer, and I live near there. It's very active. We've got one in Dillon. So the footprint in Charleston goes all over the state, and it does have an economic impact. It is the cash cow, I think, for the state of South Carolina. The export market here, BMW is in South Carolina for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons they chose us is this port. They've been shipping cars by the hundreds of thousands since they've been in business. You got Michelin, you got worldwide manufacturing coming to South Carolina because through the port of Charleston, they can get their product to any place in the world. And failure was not an option when it came to deepening this port. Why are we doing this? Shipping is changing. The type of ships on the ocean, they're going to be larger. They require more depth to come in and out of a port. So in a couple of years from now, we're going to be ready to handle any ship on the ocean 24/7, and that will be a godsend to our state and to the Port of Charleston. I've been working on this for a decade. There's been absolute bipartisan buy-in. Joe, you've been terrific. Everybody, Tim Scott's not here, but Tim has just been a great partner. There was and Congressman Clyburn, it's been all in. The delegation has been all in. No is not the answer, yes is the answer, right, Colonel Kelly? Yeah, there you go. So the bottom line here is there were about 3 times we could have failed and we chose not to. We needed $150,000. And My friend Harry Reid, we stopped earmarking in the Senate, and I said, Harry, I need $150,000. He said, I don't have my checkbook with me. I said, no, not from you, but just some money to keep the study going. So I want to thank all of my colleagues in the Senate. And the way you get your port deepened is you help other people deepen theirs. So when it comes to infrastructure, bipartisanship is required. So Colonel Kelly, welcome. Rachel, you've done a great job. We're in the last mile of a long journey. You can see it, you can taste it. There are 2 more contracts to be let, and we're very close to our goal. It's been a 10-year endeavor. Failure never was an option. It took a heavy lift, and you can see the end of the tunnel finally. So to the people of South Carolina, where I live in the upstate, it matters as much to you as it does to people working here that we get this right. Every part of South Carolina has benefited from the Port of Charleston. Jim, you've been a great leader. The board members have delivered for the state of South Carolina. This is one of the areas of politics that it's been a pleasure to be involved in, because regardless of party, everybody understood the consequences of getting it right. And if we could take this model and apply it to other areas of government, it would be wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Senator Graham. We're very honored to have Congressman Joe Cunningham here today. As you know, the port is in Congressman Cunningham's district. He's been here early and often as he's been in office and been a big supporter of this project. So, Congressman Cunningham.
Thanks, Jim, and I would echo Senator Graham's comments. Jim, Barbara, y'all have been so great to work with. Colonel Kelly, it's great to have you here. You know, your leadership is incredible. I mean, we're just so blessed to have such great representation here, and to look at, you know, everything that has transpired and everything that we've worked for. This port, it's personal for me. Jim and I were talking earlier. My brother works here in the port. You know, I've shipped out on tugs and barges back in college, recognize the economic impact it has, whether it be 1 in 10 jobs or 1 in 5 jobs, as Senator Graham says. I'll split the difference and say 1 in 7 and go on record for that. But I think, you know, what folks realize is our port here in Charleston is much like the economic heart of the state of South Carolina. You know, and it's pumping life and it's pumping dollars to other reaches of the state, whether it be in, you know, in Dillon or Spartanburg and other parts of the area. So it's important we keep that heart alive and inject the dollars that it needs. It's also important, and we talked about today, that the arteries remain clear, the roads, the railways, so we can get that get those exports or imports to and from the port and keep things flowing and keep the exchange of goods flowing. I'm very proud to have worked with the South Carolina delegation, including Senator Graham, on securing $138 million to finally dredge the port to its depth, which will be the deepest along the eastern seaboard, and that's something to be proud of. It's even more to be proud of in a divided government that, as Senator Graham said, that people can still come together and focus on the local issues that are most important to our constituents. It's something that we've been focused on since entering office, something I've had the honor and distinction of working with the South Carolina delegation to bring results back for the Low Country. This port and the dredging of it is a trophy for South Carolina, and something that we should all stand proud of today. And it's been an honor to work with the Corps and to work with the delegation, and look forward to doing that for the years to come. Thank you again so much.
Thank you, Congressman. When you read the backgrounds of Colonel Kelly and Lieutenant Colonel Honder, you can only be impressed about the quality of people in our military. And Colonel Kelly, you're the 5th Division Commander in my 11 years here. We welcome you here. He knows a lot about ports. He commanded the Norfolk District at a time when they were building infrastructure. He's got a son that's a merchant mariner, so he's got a vested interest in this port business. So without any further ado, welcome Colonel Kelly. Say a few words.
To Senator Graham, Representative Cunningham, Ms. Melvin, Mr. Newsome, community leaders and fellow servants of our great country. It's truly my honor to represent the Army Corps of Engineers, the South Atlantic Division, and in this case, the Charleston District. So it was exciting to get out and see active construction. Really excited about this work. Active construction that will contribute to national commerce. Active construction that will contribute to our military might. Active construction that will contribute to the health of the aquatic ecosystem. This project is on time. It's on budget. We're always in search of some way to pull it left, because we too want to go a little bit faster to realize as many benefits. To our partners from Great Lakes Dredge and Dock, Norfolk Dredging Company, we've got good history. I look forward to adding this to the long list of accomplishments that we've had together. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Colonel Kelly. Last and certainly not least, our Chief Operating Officer, Barbara Melvin. Under her leadership, we have really built this infrastructure to make this a world-class port that can handle 14,000 TEU ships at one time. And also one of our engineers, Ed Staymeyer, who is part of his role in engineering, has really supervised this project. So Barbara, if you would say a few words, and then we want to give something to Colonel Kelly.
Perfect. So I have the best position in a press conference. You get to go last, so everything's pretty much been covered. So on behalf of the South Carolina Ports Authority Board, our teammates, and the entire maritime community, we thank everyone represented here today for the relentless support you provided to this extremely successful and innovative project that will result in the deepest harbor on the East Coast, on time and within budget. Senator Graham, Congressman Cunningham, Kathy, with Senator Scott's office, you led the delegation and the rest of Congress, along with this administration, through many years of planning, permitting, and ultimately funding. Thank you for your leadership. Not represented here today, although integral to jump-starting the project, is our state leadership. By the actions of the South Carolina Senate and House, along with our governor and business community, a strong message was delivered to the Corps that South Carolina was serious about completing this project, and they backed it up with the first $350 million of advanced funding. To the South Atlantic Division, now led by Colonel Kelly, preceded by so many talented leaders, thank you for your assistance and coordination. And to the Charleston District team, you were simply amazing. Accepting the challenge of being the first to implement new guidelines to expedite permitting and design, followed by construction execution, thank you. Importers and exporters all around the world will forever benefit from your stalwart efforts. You're the shining stars of the Corps, and we couldn't be more honored to work with you. So now the participants will take questions related to the Deepening project, and we thank you all for being here.
And we want to do one thing
Yes.
first. So, Colonel Kelly, this became a state port in 1942. So we have a long history, and we'd like to present you a book which essentially says, "Imagine what tomorrow holds." Thank you. So thank you for being here.